Hello students, in this video we have discussed dividend policy. I am Dr. Hari Prapan Sharma, Assistant Professor, Institute of Business Management, GLE University, Mathura. Now let's we start. In this presentation we discuss what is dividend policy and types of dividend policy. If we talk about the dividend policy, it determines the division of earnings between payments to shareholders and retained earnings. Here firms just find out what amount should be distributed among our shareholders and what is retained. Dividend policies involve the decision whether to retain earning for capital investment and other purposes, to distribute earning in the form of dividend among shareholders, or to retain some earnings and to distribute remaining earnings to the shareholders. Now we discuss types of dividend policy. Basically we have discussed here four dividend policy: conservative dividend policy, liberal dividend policy, stable dividend policy and no dividend policy. Let's we start one by one. First is conservative dividend policy. It is one where the management distributes only a few portion of profit as dividend in spite of excessive profit earned. The payout ratio under this policy happens to be very low. Second one is liberal dividend policy. Here the management distributes major parts of profits as dividend among the shareholders. It is called liberal dividend policy. Only that part of profits is retained which is most urgently required. Now we discuss stable dividend policy. Stable dividend policy is considered a desirable policy by the management of most companies at present practices. It is further divided into the three parts. So we discuss detail here one by one. First one is constant dividend per share or dividend rate. In India, companies announce dividend as a percent of the paid up capital per share. This can be converted into dividend per share. A number of companies in India follow the policy of paying a fixed rate on paid up capital as dividend every year. Irrespective of the fluctuations in the earnings, this policy does not imply that the dividend per share or dividend rate will never be increased when the company reaches new levels of earnings. You can see here that a new level of earnings. And expect to maintain them, the annual dividend per share may be increased. The relationship between earning per share and the dividend per share so in this particular figure here we discuss. It is easy to follow this policy when earnings are stable. However, if the earning pattern of a company shows wide fluctuation, it is difficult to maintain such a policy. With earnings fluctuating from year to year, it is essential for a company which wants to follow this policy to build up surpluses in years of higher than average earnings to maintain dividends in years of below average earnings. In practice, when a company retains earnings in good years for this purpose, it earmarks these surpluses as dividend equalization reserves. These funds are invested in current assets like tradable securities so that they may easily be converted into cash at the time of paying dividends in bad years. A constant dividend per share policy puts ordinary shareholders at par with preferences shareholders irrespective of the firm's investment opportunities or the preferences of shareholders. Those investors who have dividends as the only source of their income may prefer the constant dividend policy. They do not accord much importance to the changes in the share prices. In the long run, this may help to stabilize the market price of your shares. Now, second one is constant payout ratio. The ratio of dividend to earning is known as payout ratio. Some companies may follow a policy of constant payout ratio, that is, paying a fixed percentage of net earnings every year. With this policy, the amount of dividend will fluctuate in direct proportion to earnings. If a company adopts a 40% payout ratio, then 40% of every rupee of net earnings will be paid out. We discussed with the example, if the company earns 2 rupees per share, the dividend per share will be rupees 80 paise if payout ratio is 40%, and if it earns 1 rupees 50 per share, the dividend per share will be 60 paise. The relationship between the earning per share and the dividend per share under this policy show in this particular figure. If our earning per share increases, then dividend per share is also increases. This policy is related to a company's ability to pay dividends. If the company incurs losses, no dividends shall be paid regardless of the desires of shareholders. Internal financing with retained earnings is automatic when this policy is followed. At any given payout ratio, the amount of dividends and the additions to retained earnings increase with increasing earnings and decrease with decreasing earnings. This policy does not put any pressure on a company's liquidity, since dividends are distributed only when the company has profit. Now we discuss the third point, that is stable rupee dividend plus extra dividend. For companies fluctuating earnings, the policy to pay a minimum dividend per share with a step-up feature is desirable. The small amount of dividend per share is fixed to reduce the possibility of ever missing a dividend payment. By paying extra dividend in periods of prosperity, an attempt is made to prevent investors from expecting that the dividend represents an increase in the established dividend amount. This type of policy enables a company to pay constant amount of dividend regularly without a default and allows a great deal of flexibility for supplementing the income of shareholders only when the company's earnings are higher than the usual, without the committing itself to make larger payments as a part of the future fixed dividend. Certain shareholders like this policy because of the certain cash flow in the form of regular dividend and the option of earning extra dividend occasionally. Now we discuss merits of stable dividend policy. It helps in creating confidence among the shareholders because they get a regular dividends, so they are confident about the regular income. It stabilizes the market value of shares. It helps in maintaining the goodwill of the company, and it helps in giving regular income to the shareholder. Now we discuss no dividend policy or growth oriented dividend policy. If we say no dividend policy, then our mind click, no dividend policy, then any company exists in a market if they do not provide any kind of dividend? Yes, company without paying a single rupees exist in a market, and they have a very good market price or very good wealth of their shares also. Uh, if you know this particular person name, and the company name is Berkshire Hathaway and person name is Warren Buffett. He does not pay dividend. He only believe retained earning and for the further investment, because we know very well if your rate of return is greater than K, then no dividend policy is also good for you. Under this policy, company pay no dividend to its shareholders. The reason for following this type of policy is that company retain the profit and invest in the growth of the business. Hopefully that's good for you. If you have any query, then you will ask in a class also. Thank you to all of you. Thank you once again.